after 4 rounds, we are stuck with 3 undefeated teams. We have the Western Bulldogs. We have the aforementioned Melbourne Demons. And we have your very own Donnie Sydney Swans. So, out of these teams, who's going to be the first one to lose, and who's going to be the last one to lose?
Ooh, this one's quite interesting. I've poured over a little bit of each of these teams,
Mm-hmm.
um, each of these teams kind of next upcoming games and different stuff like that because I wanted to kind of see how it's going. Um, just I'm double checking here real quick
Of
because this
course.
is live sometimes. Is that if you look at it, the next 3 rounds. So just kind of based off that next three
Yeah.
rounds, Melbourne has Hawthorn, Richmond, and North. Okay,
Mm.
that's Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sydney, if I remember correctly, has G. They have GWS this week,
It's going to be a fun one. Not for me. Then they got Gold Coast, and
and then they
then
got Gold
they
Coast,
got
and then they
Geelong.
have Geelong. Okay, so there's the tipping point, and then
Mm-hmm.
if we stretch it, 4 games in, Melbourne and Sydney play each other.
Mm-hmm.
So at least in 4 rounds, we know one of these teams will fall eventually. And then going off of it, the last team in the next three, let's take a look really quickly at the Western Bulldogs. Their
They got
next
a good
three:
one. They got a good 3 game stretch.
Gold Coast, GWS, Richmond. So Richmond might play quite a very interesting little connection into this.
Mm-hmm.
Just going off of that. Um, to be completely honest with you, my gut tells me Melbourne,
Mm.
but it's that fact that Melbourne and Sydney play each other. That fourth
Mm-hmm.
round would be quite interesting. Having Western playing Richmond in the next 3 rounds, there's a potential all three of them could lose in the next 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I think the first one, I, I don't want to say it this way, but I think of the first three of those three, I think Melbourne loses first.
Mm-hmm.
I think Western loses second. I think Sydney might be the last one, and then it depends on that Geelong game because
Oh yeah.
they go down Geelong and like they if they go through, they can beat GWS. I believe they should be able to beat West Coast
Mm-hmm.
or Gold Coast. My apologies. It's that game against Geelong will be quite interesting because it is at the SCG. It's not down in GMHBA down in Geelong, which
Mm-hmm.
will help the Swans for sure. But how is Melbourne going into that game against Sydney? If Melbourne is undefeated going into that game against Sydney, I think Melbourne wins that game. I think
Mm-hmm.
Melbourne has a little bit more experienced heads in just the right places. I think Sydney then falls there, but I don't know. It all just kind of depends on that Richmond. If I think Melbourne goes down first. I think Sydney's the last undefeated, just because I think Richmond's going to test Western Bulldogs because
Yes.
I don't know if Western has really been challenged
Mm-hmm.
as much as Richmond's going to challenge them because Richmond has been, I mean, the question marks are there. If I know Damien Hardwick correctly, he's going to have them snarling against St. Kilda. And when they get a chance to face Western, it's going to be a dandy. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot wait for that game. Um, so right now, I would say Melbourne would be the first one, but and this is not me being Sydney
It's
coated.
okay.
This
It's
is
okay because
this is
Donnie, I'll agree with you. Sydney will be the last one to lose. The first team to lose is going to be Melbourne because both these teams are going to go 3-0 through these next 3 rounds. Of course, I can't wait till I have to eat these words. But what I see is they all three of them go 3-0. Then in that fourth round, or in the fourth round ahead, I see Sydney gain the better of Melbourne. I see the Bulldogs continuing to win, and I see Sydney, of course, winning. Bulldogs or the Bulldogs will fall before Sydney does because look at their record. I think they're going to run to some tough games here. They really are, especially that Port Adelaide game in Week 9. That could very well be a good test for them, depending on how far they make it. And honestly, probably won't happen. But I could see Sydney going undefeated into round 15 of the season. So this is a team, if they stay hot and you look at the record, it's a nice record because as you're breaking down, they're playing the teams that they were around last year, which wasn't very good because they're near middle to bottom. Now they're at the top. This is a team that could keep winning and keep winning for a while. So Sydney fans, hey, hopefully I'm right for your sake, because I see a really good record coming out this year, thanks to the strength of schedule.
Yeah, it's the Geelong game is really this one against GWS is never easy. The Battle of the Bridge is never
It's
easy.
always fun, always fun. Not this year.
Geelong's tough, Melbourne is tough, and then I agree with you. I think if they get by Melbourne in week round 8, it really is round 15 before I see a super tough test, and that's Port.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, you get the Doggies in round 17. So this is a Sydney team that I kind of agree with you. If they get going, they could have a nice little streak going there for a bit if they can get going. Again, they've had a couple of injuries. Dane Rampy is hurt, broken his finger. He'll be out. Isaac Heaney broke his hand in the game against Essendon.
As long as Papley's still there, and as long as Buddy Franklin is still doing Buddy Franklin things, I know they're doing the time count or the minutes limit on him. So, but he's looking great when he's playing. So, oh man, that guy.
And the best part is there've been plenty of days rest in between games for the next few rounds. So I think that will really help him out as well. But then you again, Logan McDonald's still playing well, Golden's still playing well, Campbell's playing well. I mean, the entire team. Essendon was a little rough there for moments, but the fact that I think they're going to be able to absorb these 2 injuries. The biggest question is, can they stay relatively healthy? They start getting 2, 3, 4 injuries, then they're going to come back to the pack a little bit. So we will definitely have to see about that. But
it's going to be a battle of attrition.
I cannot wait to see. I cannot wait to see this.
Ooh, honorary Swans fan. Unless we're talking this round, then it's definitely GWS. But maybe besides, hey, Swannies, yeah, good job, guys.